Welcome to a new episode of Fit the Description, where various Black men come together to talk about life, society, entertainment, culture, news, and whatever else we want to talk about from various Black men's perspective. I'm your host, G, and today we got James.
Yeah, what's happening, y'all, out there in TV land?
And we got Norris.
Hey, I'm here finally for once.
What's up, you guys? This is Brandy Vernon. Glad to join the show, and let's have a fun show.
You guys still there? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a tough situation because it's a lot of stuff, but it's really simple. And yes, it could be simple, but that comes with a agreement and stuff like that. And I go, it's very easy to go awry and very easy to go negative with a lot of that stuff. And that's where the core thing of when you get in a relationship, don't too many people know how to do it right, simply because there is no book, there's no manual that you can refer to and say, oh, these are the right ways or these are the wrong ways or blah blah blah. Literally change all the time.
Kind of reeling it back from the marriage thing. That's why I said before you even think about it, you need to vet the woman that you're with. You need to understand the woman that you're with. You know, even before all that, like marriage shouldn't be an option if you're not going to take the time to get to know her. Like, don't just. It's one of the. I don't know if you saw that post where I posted about the basketball player that basically that knocked up basically he knocked up the Instagram thought basically, and now he's having to pay child support. She left him around up paying child support, and she said some crazy stuff. It's all in the group chat. But my point being, of like, there's a reason why, you know, like as men, like even I heard as a kid through music and other men, why they say don't date hoes. You know, watch who you fuck with. Don't date women like this. There's reasons for that. Go back to what I said earlier, where like I know men way better than me and had a lot more money, and it took one woman to destroy an entire man's empire. That's why it's so important for a man to choose the right woman. Back to why I say, you know, a chastity for a man is very different from a woman. You know, whereas a chastity for a woman, as you know, is more based on, you know, her first time. Our chastity to me as a man is based on our hearts. So that's why it's very important for a man to protect himself, because the thing is, if you get the wrong woman, and I do believe it's true, men are the replaceable sex, you know. There's a reason why I'm saying this specifically. There is a reason why it's easier for a woman to replace a man than it is for a man to replace a wife.
What is it?
No, I said it is far easier for a woman to replace a man than it is for a man to replace a wife.
And why is that?
Because again, we're the replaceable sex. You know, like it's very hard because I mean, you see it today, like sex, it's very different from a relationship. You know, like our love isn't tied to us sleeping with a woman, even though yes, intimacy is important, but it's tied on what's outside of that. Because when you get with, say, the most powerful thing a woman can get a man to do, this is why I say our chastity is our hearts. It's getting a man to want to do for you, not doing for you, but want to do for you, want to sacrifice to you, to do all that, to put his resources into you. That's why it's so hard. That's why we gotta be so protected with our hearts, because when you get with us as men, you know, we give it all for you. You know, I always say there are three things that a man is willing to put his life on the line for. Three things: his kids, his wife, and his land. These are the three things that a man asks to be left alone.
In that order?
Depending on who you talk to. I mean, I've heard some men. I mean, it could go in different orders. I would say the land. Well, no, it depends on the man you deal with. I heard it in different orders. You know, it depends on the man you're dealing with. But generalization, those are the three things that a man will put his life on the line for. Don't mess with my kids. Don't mess with my woman. Don't mess with my house. Don't mess with my land. It's the three things. Everything else, hey, is life.
I've heard something similar with women. That's why I asked.
Oh yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I would like to hear it because I like I said, I can't really speak for a woman, but
I can't either. That's big. But I've heard from multiple women, don't mess with the kids. They don't care about the
yeah,
husband
yeah,
or the boyfriend or whatever as much. But you mess with the kids, it's a problem. That's like
yeah,
number one.
exactly,
So status. And
exactly.
I go, that's why I keep going. It's kind of absurd to talk about low key for a man in a male perspective. You talking about the kids, but the kids came from who?
That's why they say the men are the replaceable sex. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I've heard that from women too. Where like, yeah, don't mess with the kids. It's very different. That's why I said a man's chastity is his heart. You know, that's why I
But
said.
wouldn't you say it would make sense to protect the man for the female? I know you can only talk for the male perspective and stuff like that, but wouldn't it make sense because that's the parent's dad, the co-ownership of the children, like the creation of that?
Again, it goes. I'll say two things. I'll say one that's gonna. I'm gonna say one that's messed up. I'm gonna say one that's gonna gets canceled. First off, it goes back to what I said. 49% of women in a study, 49% of women uses their child against their ex. This is the part that's gonna get canceled. This is why they say women are the more selfish of the two sex.
And the other?
No, those are the two.
Oh, okay.
Those are the two. That's why I said men. Like, I mean, I mean, we had to admit it. Men are very replaceable. We are. We're the replaceable sex. That's why they send us off to war. That's why we gotta fight. That's why we gotta do all that stuff. Women, like, well, again, that's why. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time because you gotta listen to my words.
Scientifically, you don't make any sense with what you're saying. Just so you know.
Oh, I know. but it's true. Society wise, we're the replaceable sex. Like I said, we put our lives on the line, and women ain't expecting to. We are. We're the ones that go out and fight wars. We're the ones that go out and fight the village. We're the ones that defend the households. We're the replaceable sex. Sad to say, but it's true.
And you say that because what again?
Oh, well, I just said it, but I'll say it one more time. It's because again, is the man. I should say. Let me clarify. Let me say it better. That are expected to defend the house. Go out and hunt. Again, this is going back to more basic times. Go out and hunt. Put a lights on. That's why they send men into war. That's why men are only in the draft. Although they're trying to change it, but that's why they only send men to the draft. That's why men go to war.
But doesn't that also conflict with things like numbers?
What do you mean?
So they've been saying to us when we were kids, there's way more females than there are males.
Oh, I got a great one for that.
I'm getting you there. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, so I got a great one. So the whole entire statement of there's more women than men, right? This is the problem. This is the thing that people understand. Even though there's probably more women than men, women, what's that they say? What is that they say? And you can even hear this from a Chris Rock special. 90% of women, only 10% of the men. And you see that today. All women, this is why it goes back to what I'm saying. Majority of women, I won't say are exceptions, but the majority of women, not all women, but majority of women only date up. They don't date down. They don't look at a man below them. They only date a man, two men who are above them. And I don't mean that to be sexist, but I mean by like, that's why the whole entire thing of high value man is a thing. A man who has money, has resources, can be protected with all that. If you look that up statistically, there's only a small percentage of men that makes over six figures. But every woman wants them. As women have become more liberated, which is fine. Again, For me, I have no issue. I'm actually for women being liberated, having choices, being able to love who they want to love, be able to who they want to love, be able to work who they want to want. I'm not for oppressing women. I'm actually highly against that. That goes completely against my values. As women have become more liberated and have more options, you know, the ability for a lot of men today declines, and a lot of that's due to social media, because who are all the women that are going to go after? Majority of women are going to go after the best man that they can get, you know. And let's be honest, as men, we're going to like, let's be honest, we're going to fuck as many women as we can.
If that's that what they're even interested in.
What?
I said, if that's even what they're interested in, the person, whoever it is.
Yeah, but we're not talking about like exception. We're talking about like more generality. Like generally, like, yeah, most women do go after
More so the
right at this point. Like when you say that, you're more talking about the exception. Like if you look at most women that you see, they go after the highest men that have a lot of money, and because the world is globalized, you know, that's why a freaking dude, a millionaire, can talk to a girl in Wyoming and fly her out and have his fun with her, and then have her back home and send her back home. You know, this is why you have billionaires. You know, this is why, what you call it, the mail order bride is the thing.
Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, okay.
So I was talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Noah's went on mute. I guess he's working right now. So
yeah, but
you can't probably hear me, but it is bad service sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I hear you, but you were breaking up a little bit, but you're back.
Exactly.
Hold on, wait. Okay, do you have anything you want to say, Norris? Because this is kind of your topic, and then we'll go to B.
Yeah. So
no. I'm saying we'll go to Norris first, then we'll go to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's his topic. So, do you want to respond to that real quick, Norris?
I'm over here driving. Somebody tried to hit me low key.
Oh, you good?
Oh,
yeah, I'm fine. I'm going, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't like looking too much at statistics because, yeah, the numbers are there, but numbers can only do so much supposedly, and numbers can be fudged up as well. I've seen it done.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Very true.
But I'd rather come from the perspective of what is and what people feel and what really is, like facts. And what I've noticed is there's been a transition with power. That's what we're kind of really talking about. The whole demasculinization and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I go, there's going to be another time later on where it's a whole different story and stuff like that. But what I'm really trying to get at is why are we so concerned about power and not concerned about the success of cohabiting? Like, you get what I mean?
That is a great question.
I was right about to get into that.
And you know what? That goes to a question. Because that is something I noticed too. It's a power struggle and it shouldn't be that way. But this goes into this is a question I asked specifically. Sorry, B, but this is a specific question I want to ask Norris. What is marriage?
You said what is marriage?
What is marriage? Yes.
Two people.
Okay, two people what?
Two people making a structure of life around each other, period.
So, and again, I've heard this from other people, like, and you know, and I've actually have heard this from older folks, and it goes back to more traditional time. If you ask certain people, they'll sit there and say, marriage is to create a family structure for the kids. Marriage is not about you and her; it's about the kids. It's about raising a family, raising a household. That's why I was asking you, as a person who's married, what is marriage?
the two people that's cohabitating. Like,
Mm.
it's not, the kids don't exist without those two people. That's the fundamental that has to be understood about marriage. Whoever those people are, whether the kids are adopted, whatever the case may be, literally, if it wasn't for those two people coming together,
Mm-hmm.
none of the rest of it exists.
Yeah. Okay, you want to touch on this, B? I'll let you go before I say anything.
Yeah. So, well, to answer to answer that question, what is marriage? I'm not a married man, so this opinion could definitely change over the years. It's all of that, is all of it, is you, your wife, the kids. If you are if you're a spiritual person, like what I'm trained to be, the most high on top, and is by and is what starting off with you and her is what you agree on how this relationship should be ran, and hopefully you guys could keep that going. And I always say, like, going back to earlier, or I'll just add this to this conversation, well, about people changing. I always say about every 5 years people change, but you start to see it around like the third year. And I always say it's about communication. I always say every few years sit down and talk about what's on your mind, what's going on, how do you feel about this. We agreed upon this when we first started. Do you still feel the same? If you feel different, why? And maybe implement new things on how we're going to move forward. Because, like I said, kids, like Nora's the same throughout this whole time. Like, things constantly change. Kids get older. Like I said, family parents might die. That could affect your partner or yourself. And there's all of it, all that stuff. A kid gets sick, or you could have a disabled child or something. It's all of that stuff, and it's constant communication. Now, does it always work out? No. But you just gotta keep trying. If it works out, cool. If you don't, cool as well. But like I said, as a spiritual guy, that's why, of course, you gotta have the father in your life, because at the end of the day, he's the only one who's gonna have you guys back. I always say this too. I always joke around with this about Abraham in the Bible. His wife couldn't have children, so his wife gave Abraham her maize, where he could have children with her maize, because the whole purpose of life is to reproduce. And women back then knew that. It was an honor. So when so Sarah was 90 something years old when she had her child. Sarah looked at the maids and said, "Oh no, you got to go. You got to go." She kicked the maids out with Abraham's children. Abraham got mad at his wife. "What are you doing?" Most High said, "Don't worry about it. Your kids are good. I will look out for them and I will protect them." And I think if people had that type of backing, that type of understanding, then I think a lot of things would be a lot better. But that's just there's only a few that's actually going to get what I just said just now. So, but I understand that it is what it is. But I'm done.
Okay. And let me ask this. I'm hoping you're listening, Norris, because this is something I want to hear from you too. So going back to the power thing, going back to the power dynamic. So this is a question I want to ask both of you, which I think I've heard from B, but I'm going to ask because we're on the podcast. I'll make it even more simpler. Did you know that I don't know if it's still open, but did you know that in LA they had a hotel that was only for women?
No.
So basically you said no to the first question. Second question is, do you care?
No, not really. No.
So go ahead.
I mean, why is there a hotel just for women?
Okay. So that's not my point. I mean, my point being is, so this entire, like, that's what I said to a man. I mean, at least I can definitely speak for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that power dynamic for us isn't really there. I mean, it is there, of course, but it's not really, like, to me, it's like, at least coming from me, I'll just speak for myself. Like, to me, there's not really a power dynamic, like the only time that I would say there is, about, I gotta figure out how to say it in a better way. It's maybe when you're in a relationship or marriage, but for the most part, and this is my whole entire point, a man doesn't really give a crap about what a woman does unless they're at the least amount, at the least. I don't bring up family if we're not talking about family. Because I know there's gonna be some weirdo. Well, what mom? Unless you're willing to sleep with your mom, don't bring up your mom. like fucking weirdo, I swear. But anyways, my point being is this: a man doesn't really care about what a woman's doing unless it directly affects him, or they're at the least. Other than that, like, when it comes to, like, what a woman wants to do, like, a man doesn't.
Hi. Sorry about that. I'm a neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no problem. But yeah, other than that, I mean, a man really doesn't care about what a woman does. Like that's the thing. No man wants to. I'm not saying any men out there. There are definitely men out there that are toxic and criminals and stuff. But like ain't no man want to oppress a woman. Oppress a woman these days. Like, I'm all fine with women doing what they want.
Yeah,
like, no
true.
man cares about that shit. Oh, hell on. No, is you back?
Yeah.
All right. Did you hear the question?
I don't even know, but I heard something about oppression and man wanting not and all that jazz.
Okay, go ahead. Let me ask you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you two questions. So first off, so these are two questions. I don't know if it's around anymore, but it was on the news. Did you know there was a hotel for women that was only for women? Or like a small, there's only women can enter.
Well, I kind of figured there would.
No. I'm just asking you, did you know?
No.
Okay. My second question: do you really care?
Not really.
but and so my point being, that's what I was telling B. Like that's why I said, like, when it comes to men, and I'm not saying they're just not there, but when it comes to like men, particularly, at least I would say probably more our generation. I don't know about the traditional, but like us, it's like we don't really care about really what a woman does. The only time a man really cares about what a woman does outside of a relationship is on two different things. It's either you do something that affect our life, or for a man to care about you, like on anything, it's you got to, at the least. I'm talking about at the least amount. You have to. Other than that, like what a woman wants to do is her business. A man doesn't really care unless it affects us, outside of a relationship or marriage. So there is no like. I mean, are the dudes there? Yeah, are the toxic guys? Absolutely, but the majority of guys, I could say that I like a woman can do whatever she wants. A man doesn't really care. The only time he cares when it affects our household. So this entire power dynamic, to me, I mean, I can only speak for me and my group, and I will say, yeah, there are some definitely fuckheads out there. But again, those are the to me, those are the exception. Like they're the fuckheads. But most normal dudes don't really care about what a woman does unless it directly affects us. Like if a woman wants to have her own fucking spa or do her own work, ain't no man that I know is gonna go out and stop her and say she can't do it. The only time a man really cares if it affects him or his position. Like, yes, if you're going for a man's position, yeah, he's gonna care, you know. But to me, if a woman can do what she can do, then ain't no like to me. I'll put like this. I'm not gonna sit there and say men won't try to stop women because I've actually witnessed it, and I think I totally disagree with that. But for a normal guy that I know, ain't no man gonna try to stop a woman from doing what she can do. If you have the ability to do it and you can do it, ain't no man gonna stop you. We only have issues because like this is why I said it goes from equality when you say, hey, you can do something, but like genetically you really can't, or or like you're put in a position that like you're only in there because of what you are, but you're not in there because you put in the work. Like you're not deserving of it. Other than that, like women, if you as long as you're willing to put the work in and you can do it, a man ain't a normal guy ain't gonna stop you unless it affects his ability to make a living or taking his position. But that's everybody. That's common for both sexes. That's not even a sex thing.
That's where I kind of cut the argument a little bit too, because you asked the question of if I care that there's a women's hotel, but I also think of things like that when you ask that type of specific question because of the ethnicity that I am and stuff like that. They had to have separate hotels for certain people. So I also go into, well, why?
Okay. I get that, but again, like we're not really talking about a root. Because I'll even say something else, because again, we're not talking about the race. I get where you're coming from, but we're not really talking about the race thing. We're more talking about a man.
I know you're not talking about the race thing, but I get all of the above with all that stuff, and that's where I go, okay, but what are we talking about when it's a separate hotel specifically for whomever, whether it's off of race, gender, religion, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And that literally only happens because of separation.
Yeah.
Because rogueness that happens. And I go, the reason why that happens also is because of the people that are currently in power at that moment.
Exactly. And that is a big conversation, but you're totally, that's another point, but a point I will make if this is a different conversation, but I totally agree. I totally agree with that. And that's why I say the power dynamic, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, and like I said, when we're talking about this from the sexist side, like from the sex side, that's what I'm saying. It's not really from it. I mean, hell, I'll say something, another thing that's controversial. And again, this has nothing to do with race. This has to do more with sex. Can you think of one female dominant space that had to change or totally had to reconstruct to willingly to appease and cater to men? That is a female dominant space.
That's not a fair question to ask.
It's a truthful question, though. Can you name one?
But no, because that's coming from the damn man, you messing it all up. The reason why I say what I'm saying is because a lot of stuff women were not in thought before. You get what I'm saying? Whether they were white or black or whatever. Men were, and this comes from European teaching. And this is all male European thought. So if that's the case, of course, it's all coming from there. So that question is not really fair.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Like most of the people that are complaining about a lot of this stuff, honestly. So I can't
different in that community, and that's why I'm saying you got to put some structure there for the guide. And I'm going, if this is based off of European male thought, female restrooms wasn't even thought about. You want to start there with that one? So that.
But okay, but see, we're not even talking about that. I'm talking about, and that's why I said willingly. I'm saying a female dominant space. We're not talking about this stuff. Like I said, that's why I said. That's why I said when we're not thinking about back then, because of course there was a lot of injustice. I'm not trying to defend injustice. I'm talking about spaces that were specifically designed, like toys and all that stuff, that was specifically designed for women that were female, that had to change and cater to men, just in general. Like I'm talking about just female spaces. These are for women. Women had it. It's their spaces. No man ever came in. And when men come in, did they ever change or adjust? Because
it's still the rest of the thing.
No, because you know what? Here, I'll even no. Hold on. I'll give you another example. Because guess what? This actually happened to a black male's only club. Because there was a black men's, a black men, not society, but it's like a black men's club where it's only for black men that go in there. And I remember I read the story. This happened a couple of years ago. So it was only for men. It was just a club for men, but it was for black men. And it came out that this woman came out and complained, say, it's not fair. Why is there only a space for men and we're not involved? My point being, like I said, this is black men. We're not talking about European. This is black men. This is a black men's only club that's only for black men. And a woman came out saying it's not fair that she's not allowed in the club. You get what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. It's the difference. Is that for a man, and again, I'm not talking about things that affect you life-wise. I'm talking about just having our own spaces for men. When a man creates his own space or male-dominant space, like I said, when a woman starts complaining, whatever, we always had to change and adjust to women, but it doesn't happen on the other way around. And that's just a generalization. Like there's never that goes back to my point where you can say it's unfair, but it's the truth. There's never been a female dominant space that had to change or adjust for women, but men always have space for us that always has to change and adjust for women. Like my point being is like, why can't men have their own spaces? That's basically the question. And that's what I'm saying, it's different.
I get kind of what you're talking about, but it's a difficult conversation to talk about in conjunction of what I am and or other people are, in the sense of, if you come in from a African American or black household, what did you have rights wise in the first place to begin with?
Yeah, but now you're making this conversation bigger than what it is.
No, I'm not making it bigger. I'm gonna smallerize it and specify it. But my point being is, you can say that all day that you want. I don't think that's really an argument, because I go look at work-wise and what was going on.
I'm not, and again, you're making it bigger. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about work. I'm not talking about anything that oppresses.
But those are still, certain things are still spaces for physically fit people. Period. And the most physically fit person
but again, you're changing the argument. I'm not talking about anything because I just said that earlier. If a woman has the ability to do it, she should be allowed to work in that position. I'm not talking about that. Again, you're changing the conversation. I'm nowhere near that. I'm talking about just spaces for men and women. It's our own spaces. Because
when you say our own spaces, like, we need that. In the sense,
yes, like, I actually do. I actually do believe that, yes, it is important for men, and it's healthy for men to just be around men and talk to other men. It is very healthy for us. It is good for us.
It also becomes intoxicating, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, there are times where you just need to conversate with your fellow person that has something with you, and I guess that's going through. Yeah. But at the same time, I think the way that it's always been approached with that type of stuff isn't open as it needs to be. And what I mean by that is when you sit there and think about a conversation of, I don't know, just using the restroom again. I keep going here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're changing the conversation though from what it is. That's a totally different topic.
I know what you're talking, but
it's different. Like,
the restroom is literally for the specific gender and all that stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that's why I keep going there, just to keep it kind of basic and common. With that, there's always been conversation about, well, mothers can't really teach boys how to pee properly because they don't have that.
I disagree with that. But go ahead.
Hey, yeah, you disagree with that, but that's been the conversation for a long time. And with that, it comes of understanding with things. And yeah, things might change, but you get put into that. My point being, you get put into certain categories and circumstances of that.
I get what you're saying, but that's still kind of changing the topic, you know? Because again, like you know, James was just saying earlier.
And you say that it's changing the topic, but it's a part of the topic, and that's what I'm really getting at. And I go, you can't take one and the other. I
don't agree with that. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with that.
Oh no, okay. Yeah. But what I'm still getting at is literally you get put in these circumstances, and there's this dysfunction of what is and what's supposed to be and how this is supposed to be and blah, blah, blah. And I keep going, yeah, you can have all these separate spaces for everybody, but at the same time, that's the problem. There's always going to be this confliction.
I'm listening.
Now, with this confliction comes there's that idea of what we were talking about before of there's exceptions to the rule. Mm-hmm. Single parents are single parents, like real shit. And when you start talking about this thing that we call segregation, it goes.
That's not what I'm talking about. Again, you're moving it. That's not what I'm not. About. You are. You really are.
When you specify to say a space is specifically for somebody, then that's why the argument always arises. And that's why I said what I said in the room with who's right on this? The problem is everybody worried about who's right, and there's only one way, and not considering the fact that, guess what? Your way is right, but the way you went about it is wrong.
I can agree with that. I could agree if you're talking about the way people went about it was wrong. Oh, absolutely. I can totally agree with that.
And that's why I'm going. All you really did was exactly what's wanted on the opposite side, is you to become how they were.
But that's what I'm saying. That changed because that could, like you just said, that could apply to everything. Like that's like basically you made that same argument of like, should it be black colleges and we should exclude white people out. You know, all that can go the same way. Like to me, and like I'll just be honest with you. The only true difference to me between humans, honestly, just to me, as human beings, are a man and woman. We're the only two things that are different. Everything else to me, we're all the same. You know, of course, our teacher back when we go up are totally different. But I'm talking about genetically. Well, like basically, besides pigmentation, whatever. We're pretty much the same. Bleed the same, got the same parts. I mean, unless we have a genetic issues, you know, we're pretty much all the same. The only difference is to me, of humans are pretty much the sex. So I can accept those differences there.
So then why?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, so to answer the question about the female space or whatever, I mean, white men don't go to the female space and try to get into that. And I say, do you really want to?
Yeah, that's my point.
I mean, if you look into female spaces, you can look at what's that new app that they be talking on the phone, a Clubhouse. You know, there are there'll be groups all full of women. Have you heard those conversations? I want to be part of that. And you know, women always trying to get into our space because we are the relationships. we can get.
I don't even believe that anymore, because like I feel like at least today now, it's not even that we're the relationship. It's just that women are trying to change men and males to fit them, but not understand what men are. Here's a perfect. I mean, you can even do the test, and I've tried it. I've tried it. If you ask a couple of women, do you know what a man wants? I'm talking about single women. Do you know what a man wants? Most of them cannot tell you. Or they'll tell you something that doesn't even matter to a man. But most of them don't really know what a man wants. Generally, not specifically, but generally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, you know, that's true. Over the years,
yeah.
And she knows, you know, we talk to a lot of women, and they don't be knowing nothing about their guys. So
yeah, and honestly, they don't have to. That's why I say men are the replaceable sex. But my fault. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, but the only way, you know, as guys, if you want your own space, you gotta become like these secret societies and keep things on the low. That's the only way now, you know, because if you don't do that, that's going to keep infiltrating. You know, if you look at if you look at gaming, mostly dominated by men. Now look at it. If you look at, you know, comic books, wherever, well, dominated by men. Now look at it. You don't want to be part of it no more because of the crap that they're producing now to please the female, you know. So if you want to keep everything pure manly, it has to be on some secret.
And
you know.
Oh, go ahead. We got more. I'll let you finish.
No, you go. Yeah.
That's why I said, you know, what Norris was saying, man, like you're really moving the goalposts farther than what the conversation is, because I get what you're saying where it comes with segregation, but like I told you, I said the only true two differences between human beings are a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Like B was saying was, and again, I'm not for like, you know, like keeping women out of Australia. No, but I am saying that to me, and I get what you're saying where like having a male space can be toxic. I get where that's coming from, but at the same time, I do feel like it is important for men to be around other men. And I think it is okay for a man to have their own spaces. I'm not saying they got to own everything. Yes, if it's to impede a progress of anybody, then I think it's a problem. But if you just have a space where you could just be you and you guys and talk amongst yourself and be who you are, I think that's important. I will say it again. I think it is mentally healthy for men to be around and talk amongst other men.
Yeah, but like I said, in order to keep that though, like I said, nowadays, in today's time, it has to be private.
Yeah, and that to me is, I've asked everybody here except for James. You know what? You know, hey James.
He's probably working.
Yeah. Well, he just came back in, so I was hoping. Okay. Yeah, because he just came back. All right. Yeah.
My whole point of that argument, though, is what's the point? Like,
the point.
I understand you need to have certain conversations with people that are similar, I guess, to you to, I guess, gain knowledge maybe and whatnot.
Well, I just believe. No. The point is, to me, as a man, it's mentally healthy for me. It's just healthy for him to be able to talk to, because I'll be honest with you. You know, and I can say this from personal. I can actually say this when you sit down and say can a woman raise a man? Yes, but there are something that a mother cannot teach you that you need to get from a man. You need certain things from a man to become a full man. And I could say that personally. Nobody else can say it, but I could sure as hell say that. Nobody can argue that with me. So that's why I say, yes, to me as a man, it is important to have spaces for men that men can't just be themselves and be men and talk amongst ourselves. Because like I said, there's a way we talk, there's a way we communicate that, yes, women don't understand or don't like, it's not about being toxic, whatever. It's just, to me, it's healthy. And that's, to me, it's the point. It's just mentally healthy for men. I think it's not healthy for men just to be around just women all the time or just away from their own. I think it's important for men to be amongst men sometimes and just be men and just be able to talk freely and be able to talk how they want, like what we're doing on this podcast. This is why there's a men's podcast. What we say is very different from what they hear. That's the difference. We have a way we communicate very differently. There's ways that women communicate that men don't get. There's ways that
talking about, but I feel like a lot of that remind me of colonialism. And I get the difference in the point that you're making, but at the same time, I'm going, we shouldn't have to, and in my opinion, we shouldn't have to care whether it's a male or a female that's not agreeing with our opinion, and we should be able to be open about how we feel and what we're doing.
This world teaches you today you can't be open. Men cannot be open with how we feel, what we're doing at all.
But that's what I'm saying. So it shouldn't be, oh, you got to run and hide to a space in order to do that.
You don't have a choice. That's what I said, but that's my point, though. Like it's not even just about hiding. It's just about, this is the way we communicate. There's things that we can't say to women that we can only say to men. There's things that women say that we just don't get, and that's what it is.
And I know, I get that, and that's where all the confliction starts. And I keep going, okay.
I don't really think that is. I don't think that's where the confliction starts. By a man and a woman doing their own thing, that's where the confliction starts. No, I think a man and woman should be free to do their own thing.
But this is why I say that's where it starts. When you think about creation, how is that done?
Yeah, with two parts. Yeah, I get a man and a woman. I get it.
Okay. So if that's that way, I get there's a separation of this is the X and the Y chromosome, and this person's going to think this way. Physically, they're going to be different, and blah blah blah. But I also go, if we are not able to be open and we have to hide, that is the problem.
But we can't.
That has always, and I get what you're saying, but that has always been the problem with everything ever, whether it's race or you're changing your gender or whatever. It's because you can't be open, and now we're going to make this the problem.
I don't know, man. I don't. Depending on the topic, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Like, being open is the problem. I mean, yeah, I think because again, like I told you, I think
it's because you can't be open and it's not accepted. That's my point. There's always going to be the opposite of the grain, and sometimes those are the people that are in power. So then they cancel, like we said, cancel culture and stuff like that are going to happen. Yeah. And with that, that's why I keep saying a lot of people that thing of what we have of freedom of speech can't exist in reality because we literally have to hide what we feel and do and all that stuff, or what we are. Makes no sense.
But let me say this: men have to hide what they say, feel, and are. But it's been like that for forever, dude. It hasn't changed. At least when it comes to the men's side.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's not just a gender thing. It's literally everybody in some sort of way throughout their life has had to hide. Not necessarily had to hide, because it's a choice, kinda, depending on what we're talking about.
Yeah. But so I just want to say this. The reason why I'm like, I'm kind of having an issue with what you're saying. It's not the problem is it's kind of moving the conversation away from what it is. You get what I'm saying? I think you're making it a lot bigger than what the conversation is right now. So like some of the things you're saying, I don't necessarily agree with, but it depends on where you talk about what you're applying to. You know, like you're really making
It
this bigger than what
applies to everything.
yeah, but
I look at life in the essential sense of racism and how it stems of is because you're not like me that I have a problem. Think about that for a minute.
I didn't, but that's not what
the same thing.
That's not
both
what I
ways
said.
around.
That's not what I said.
It's not what you. I didn't say that's what you said. What I'm saying is both ways around. That's the same thing. So now we are to, as a people, we exist, and we're supposed to cower down, right? It wasn't expected for us to empower each other. Then, if you keep moving and looking at the progress that has been made from multiple cultures, multiple ethnicities, and all that stuff, it's always been a thing of there's been hidden spaces that people have to go to, whether that's a club or some type of thing that's going on, or that's a literal, I gotta flee the country kind of real shit like that.
Yeah.
And I keep going. It's all when you really look at it, it's all the same stuff of I have to hide from the people that are in power that control things as of right now.
Again, you're to me, you're still changing the conversation and you bring this someplace else.
And I know I get what you're talking about. Yeah, I get it, but it's all the same crap.
I can't agree with that. It is.
How is it not the same? Go ahead.
It's totally different, man. Like I mean, because when you talk about race and all that stuff, yeah. Again, you're talking about a form of power and oppression. What I'm saying is, when it comes to this, well, okay, I guess it does apply to a point when I say power and oppression, because
I'm saying the same thing across the board.
Yeah, but no, but like you know that. But I mean, yes, I mean, I will say like right now, yes, men have felt oppressed, but to me, that's always been a thing because what I'm saying is, as men, we do accept.
It hasn't always been the thing.
Listen, what I'm saying. Wait. Listen to what I'm saying. Majority of men, I won't say all men. There's a lot of men who, especially today, feel differently. But majority of men, I should say, especially as we get older, we start realizing that we do accept that men and women are different, and we, at least on the man side, we totally accept that. We're fine with it. You know, like we don't have an issue. It's not about we're trying to stop you or oppress you. We just understand that we're different from you, and there's the way we roll and stuff is different. It's not about women are lesser than us. Not that women can't achieve the things that we do, but men and women are different. And that's really what it is, and that's just something. That's why you never. Hold on, wait. This is one thing. This is what I'm saying. This is why, because I never heard it. I never heard a man sit down, go out, and say, "Let's kill all women and burn all them down and destroy them." But I definitely hear it from fucking women all the time.
And certain things with that is all emotion, but in reality of what is, you have to consider everything, not just one side of things. And I get your male perspective and my male perspective on things as well. It's just what I'm really more so getting at is you're talking about the over empowerment that's, I guess, happening with women nowadays, because now they're able to get these grants, more money means more power, and the positions that they can hold and all that stuff. But you also have to consider it's all a history fucking lesson. If you consider what was happening before, men were in power, so they made the rules.
I get that.
And with that, it comes, okay, now things have changed and have shifted somewhat. I don't know how much or how less and blah, blah, blah. But I do know things have changed.
Yes.
But that came with time, that came with numbers, that came with that type of stuff. And I think certain opinions are needed to be just that, opinions, not right of law. And I go, it doesn't matter to a man or a woman that's in power. What matters is really how it's all handled and how it's all received. And I think that the male perspective is being super downplayed and outright becoming, it's not illegal to be a male, but it's making it seem like that with the media and all the stuff that's happening. And that's why I'm saying it's the same thing that they went through, and they're just really perpetuating the situation of what happened before on a reversal role. So now they're trying to see what's going to happen from everybody's perspective. This is all testing, in my opinion. What's going to happen now that this all has changed? So then now that we're changing the rules and stuff like that, we can do certain things. And that's what we're looking at when we're talking about the comic books and stuff like that. Because not all comic books were, I guess you could say, equal in the sense of the weight that they held of who the hero is, or who the feminine hero is, all of that. And now that's changing with time because of what's going on, and it's all being played upon. And I keep going, okay, this ain't really changing stuff in the positive direction that it need to go in. It's more of, okay, we're just adjusting it to what's current right now politically. And I go, oh. So now we're going to have this going on, and then we're going to have that going on. And all we're really doing is creating more and more problems because we're so dead in set on these things of identity issues. And it's not really an identity crisis, it's a power issue.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely agree. Overarching, what's the issue? It's a power issue. Absolutely. I mean, everybody's trying to fight for power.
And I keep going. If it's a fucking power issue, how many people want power like that? Like,
oh, there's a lot.
I get you want your,
there's a lot.
I get you want your necessities of livelihood and stuff like that. You want food on the table, and you want clothes on your back, and a roof over your head, and stuff like that, maybe. And you know your little hobbies and stuff probably like that. But at the end of the day, I go, there's other issues that's really the problem. And I keep going, I keep questioning the question I keep having is about power and greed. What is that line? Where is that being crossed? All over the place. I don't care who it is, what it
is. See, the problem with this argument that you're making, again, is that you're making it way bigger. And don't get me wrong, it's discussion, which we have had on other podcasts a little bit. And you're really itching at me because you're totally changing the argument in ways of like, yeah, there's a lot of arguments. I like, so I'm just trying to keep it forward that. But I get
what you're saying because you're trying to specify it to a certain area, and I keep going, that is the problem. Because we keep trying to, I'm gonna scratch this area, and then the scratch moves on to something else.
Hold on. Because again, the thing is, it's not. This is not really an argument. It's just more like you're kind of itching at other things I'm seeing that I kind of agree with. I'm trying to like keep it on topic, but I get what you're. I totally get what you're saying. Where it's, hey James, what? Are you back? Only because if I go into this, we're totally going to go off topic right now. Do you have anything to add? Because I like Nor's pulling me off topic right now. On what he said, because if I go, we're going off topic.
Nope. Go ahead.
All right. Like you totally pulled us off the top. Okay, fine. We'll change it up. Okay. So, okay, hold on. All right. So okay, my fault. What was the last thing you said? Sorry about that. I'm trying to get my thoughts back together because you totally pulled me off though. Norris?
Basically, we're trying to specify the topic of being this or that,
okay,
and what
that's what I was going to say. Okay, thank you for saying that. So, okay, so this is a pod. This happened earlier in one of our earlier podcasts. You were there. You were actually there. And one of the arguments that really, really bugged the hell out of me And basically from what I got from part of that argument, basically both of them were arguing police brutality is a problem and black on black crime is a problem. To me, that's a dumb argument because they're both the problem that both needs to be fixed. So the issue is, and I've noticed that, is we tend to change the argument from what it is, and we're not like you said, we keep switching it up because, like you said, we're too hyper focused on one part. But like this part is the problem, so they are able to direct things to where they want to, which is the power. This is why I kind of have issues, because I feel like us as a community right now is being manipulated in ways that's not really benefiting us. So I get what you're saying, where it's like, it's kind of like okay, here's for the moment, and we have this issue, and then we go on to another issue because this just happened, and it's like, we're not really dealing with it. They're just letting us. Basically, it's like, we'll let you have your say, and as soon as we get a chance to get away from it, we're going to move the goalposts and not really fix the issue. So that's why I say, like, you had to take me off topic to talk about that because it's been one of the things that's been bugging me. I mean, yeah, when you say overall it's a power thing, it absolutely is a power thing. All these communities, all this fight is happening. Totally, you could tell. Like, look at the people who are really being benefited. When I hear things about when people speak on equality, we want equality, we want everybody to be the same and all that stuff. Everywhere I look around, whenever I see equality, when I look at the people who wind up in the position, at least the majority of people that I see getting these positions of power, getting these companies, whatever, it's definitely diverse. But why is it that when you say diversity, I always wind up seeing a bunch of white women in these positions? And nobody ever talks about that. When did things change where, like, when you sit down and say that, like, women are, like, it's diverse and they're minorities now, like they're talking about like they're minorities? No, because I could tell you straight up, being as a black man is one of the things that I'm sure we had a conversation of why we say be careful dealing with those white women, because there's been plenty of stories in throughout our history that shows that a white woman's life had totally destroyed black men's life. Like, totally destroyed. So this is why I sit down. I'm just like, I mean, see, I'm going all over the place because you really open up a can of worms for me.
Oh, I got
to. Yeah, you really open it up. But it's just one of those things that I look at that. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, as anybody's looking at what's going on and what's happening, people bitch about the Dave Chappelle special, but he said something really important. It's crazy that LGBTQ could come together and make all these changes, but what the fuck have we done? When I look at these things, it's like, and it's one of my issues. It's like, are we really paying attention to what's going on? Because, like, this whole entire podcast, like I said, was built because are we really? I'm not saying you're right when you said it before. Are we talking about it as black men and stuff? Yes. But are we able to talk about it like in society? It really bugs the fuck out of me. And it always has. Every fucking time I hear diversity or our issues, when every single time I see, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but I'm tired of seeing a bunch of white faces taking leads on diverse issues. And it's been a really big problem to me when I've been looking at this, and I'm like, when is this going to change? Is anybody really
when we decide to empower those of us that are of the same ethnicity, of the same struggle of what we're trying to do and accomplish, empower those. We don't see that, so then you got to remember television programming is a real fucking thing where a lot of people got brainwashed throughout time of Well, it's the European colonization thing, and that's just how it is. And with that comes, I'm scared, or I won't, or I can't go against that person or that type of person, because guess what? They're scared.
Yeah.
And that's why when they talk about Dave Chappelle sitting up there doing his closer stand up,
Yeah.
they talk about him in that fashion because he's not. And he did it. And he doesn't care what the repercussion comes from it. There are not that many of those that are out there, though. When you look at it, look at the YouTubers. What it doesn't matter what ethnicity they are, but if you then you do decide to focus in on who's doing what and who's making money and how, then you start to figure out, oh, this is what's really going on. How many people are really standing up for exactly what we're talking about right now? you might hear a few people talk about it here and there, maybe not that many. Let's be real. And then it gets swiped over, just like you was talking about, with other issues. And then that becomes the main topic for the remainder of the year.
Oh wow.
You got something to say, James? Because I hear you back there.
I don't. I don't.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, I do, but I don't.
Oh, come on. Don't do that again. You always do that. Come on, man. Be part of the conversation.
Look, no, I'm not starting a war.
No, we're good. We won it. We won it. You know what this podcast is. Come on. Dude, you weren't here this entire time. We won it. I'm calling you out. Yes.
Look,
yes.
I wasn't here the whole time. I had to go to work. But anyway, yeah, I mean, look, his sentiment is great. I totally respect his opinion, and that is completely not how I look at it. I mean, it's partly. We've talked about it before. Yeah, you said you were upset because white people are standing up for stuff that we should be standing up for, right? Is that what you said?
No.
Tell me exactly what you said, and I'll give it to you.
I said I'm tired of white people taking leads or being leadership positions on diverse issues.
Isn't that the same thing I just said?
A little different, but we could
same situation. Well, let me get
Close
to
enough.
let me ask you this though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those issues.
Mm-hmm.
If you posed it to 100 black guys that you know,
Mm-hmm.
how many of them would sit down and have a conversation with you about it?
Damn.
I'm just asking.
I'm with you.
About 3, about 4, maybe 2.
I'm with you.
How many of them though would tell you exactly what was on Sports Center last night?
I'm
80%,
with you.
Right?
I'm with you with
you
that.
Can't sit there and fault the white people or European people, whatever y'all want to call them. You can't fault another race for trying to help out.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But
you are, because you said they're in a leadership role. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. If there's nobody who wants to stand up, who wants to step up, then okay, who cares? And then people that do step up, their friends are like, man, you talking real weird right now. Like, they have no kind of support. That's the biggest problem I see right now, is that people, they want to complain about something, just like gentrification. There's a lot of people that are like, yeah, man, that's ridiculous. But how come black people don't just do it in their own community? Why does somebody else have to come in and start developing for you guys to get pissed off? Like, why are you guys doing this here? Well, I mean, because you guys want nice stuff, right? Well, they're pushing us out. Well, yeah, that nice stuff, that beautifying costs money. So I mean, we need to start putting people that make sense in the leadership roles. Yes, but that's the biggest thing. We need to start putting those people that look like us in those places and have them do something that makes sense.
And I get what you saying because I'm doing it right now. and what I really, in all serious matter, mean of that is it's a struggle for me to get where I'm trying to get to. In all seriousness of what I mean of that, it's not because I don't qualify. It's not because I'm unknowing. It's not because I can't learn the other new things if they decide to change the rules. It's what I've noticed. It's kind of like hiring trends that you've seen around. And you go, well, this person made the cut and this other person didn't. What happened? What was the difference there? And I always take that in as a serious account of when somebody decides to hire me or doesn't decide to hire me. And I keep going, it stems from each other. So you trying to tell me because you have the resources in the sense of such and such. And when you think about it in reality, in retrospect, anybody could know such and such supposedly, but not on that necessary level of friendship, whatever, or giving.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not there quite yet. Let's just be real about that.
Mm-hmm.
So how can a person like me that looks like me, that's been through the stuff, get to where they're trying to get to if that's what the qualification that they don't put on the paper actually is?
I'm back.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's completely. Yeah, I can tell everybody it's not easy. It's a complete struggle. But how many people that are like you are in the same position as you when they see that struggle and how hard it is to get to the top, they just decide to go do something else.
Some people do. A lot of people
Yeah,
do. But I keep also
exactly.
going and I keep pushing the point. That don't
Exactly.
matter. That don't matter. Because I
It
go,
does
if
matter.
it doesn't matter in the sense of if we trying to perpetuate this type of conversation that's happening right now to push it to the next level, that part don't matter.
It
Because
matters 100%.
a lot, I'm gonna tell you like it is. It don't matter your ethnicity and all that stuff on.
Hmm? What? What that got to do with anything? I'm saying how many people are like look like you that see the struggle that you have to go through to get to where you want to be, give up and go do something else. That's the part that I'm pointing out that it matters because there's strength in numbers. If you get one person up there, that's cool. But if everybody else wasn't trailing behind him so he can try to help him out, then you're gonna be up there by yourself, bro.
Oh, did we lose him?
He didn't pay his cable bill.
Damn.
That's
Damn. That's bull.
it. That's
Oh, no,
it.
yeah. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's
I'm
back.
about
Thank
to
you.
say he didn't pay his cable bill. What's going on
Oh,
here?
man, dude.
Did you
Oh.
give him your internet, G? What's going on here? We about to go. We about to get down. Let's do this. Unmute yourself. Let's go.
Oh, me?
Certain things are just getting to
No.
the
Oh,
level. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Now,
Certain things are getting to the level of actual change. They've been changing, but I'm talking about a definitive amount, like actual noticeable amount to where, oh, that's trouble. Hold on, kind of thing. And with that shifting of power that's coming, it's only because of the people that's making the ruckus that is happening.
Mm.
And I don't mean, when I say ruckus, don't take that as the person that's only voicing their opinion. I mean that in the sense of other things, of getting into position to empower somebody else that needs it.
Okay, but I don't
And
consider that ruckus.
that also has earned it though. Not just, it's not just a need, it's also a earned.
Yeah,
But needs and earned don't coincide when it comes to this game.
but that's not ruckus. That's not ruckus at all.
That's how you don't look at it though, but it actually is, because it changed the rules. Did it not? That's a ruckus. When you change rules, that's a ruckus.
Nah, if somebody's grinding and they deserve to be in a position, yeah, that's changing the scope of things. That's not people caught when you're saying causing a ruckus. Yeah, there's a lot of people with a lot of talk, and they're all talking and rah and talking real loud. That doesn't change anything because people can just mute you.
And
But
that's
people
why I
that
was that's
but
what I was saying. That's not exactly what I was talking about, because I knew you was gonna go there with that one.
yeah, but people that are actually putting in the hard work, and like I said, it's going to be 10 times harder than people that don't look like us to get to that point. But if you can work hard and you're going to work 10 times harder to get there and you get there, then yeah, you can help other people out if they working hard like you. But that's why I brought up the point. How many of those people that when you turn around and you at the top and you turn around and look, how many of those people that look like you that started that journey are still going to be behind you? Very few. The only way you're going to really extract change is if you guys are in a group and y'all kicking down a door. One person can knock on the door. Maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't. You need a group, though, to come in and do that. And it's so hard to get everybody, and that's what they want. They make sure everybody's divided. They make sure everybody is looking in different directions and people going, man, this is a struggle. All right, yeah, I shouldn't do this, man. It's too hard. So until everybody gets on the same playing field, then that's the only way it's going to work.
And I agree with you, except for that last little part of the everybody, because I don't think it's, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's anytime soon going to be everybody.
This change ain't gonna happen anytime
and that
soon.
when you started saying that, and when you started saying the group thing, yes, that has worked. We've seen it time and time again. And that's why I'm saying with the everybody thing, that's a solidification of exactly. But in the meantime, I'm going group by group. That's just what we got to do. And that's where I'm coming to agreement with you. I agree. And it is going to be a struggle to get that group together with that. We've seen that over time because of people split up for all kinds of selfish reasons most of the time.
Mostly just jealousy.
It's still a selfish reason.
Crab in the barrel mentality suck. But then this is the other thing, though. People aren't learning generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can figure out other people that will sit there and explain to their kids how generational wealth works. But then with us, we explain how, keeping it real works. And not snitching, and snitches get stitches. And we teach people how to be hard and how to be real, but we don't teach them how to make money and how to sustain it, how to make their family straight. We're just now getting little people that are saying, yo, this is what we should probably be doing. But those people are all muddled into the background, because when you got 5 people saying, look, man, we need to get together, we need to push this, we need to do that, that's cool. But when you got 5,000 other people going, yeah, diggity dog, let's get this mug, whop, and then whop, and all this other ridiculousness, the other people get drowned out. So yeah, it takes groups like this to come on every week and have conversations, you know, to try to work towards change. But it ain't gonna be easy and it ain't gonna be quick. It's not gonna be televised.
And you're right. It's a teach the hustle to live, like, because you got to make a living, but don't teach the hustle how to live. And I keep going, that's what's not being corrected. It's like you get stuck on level 1 and you didn't level up to level 2.
Mm-hmm. And then somebody levels up to level 2, and then they look back like, "Yeah, sucker," and they keep going instead of helping you out. I mean, just look at Snoop. What did he say? The game should be sold, not told. That's completely wrong. I swear he has your internet, bro. Keep dropping over here.
Looks like he's on mute. I don't think he's dropping. I hope he ain't dropping.
No, he disappeared and then he popped back up.
Oh yeah, here he is. Okay, cool.
I said, and then that's the end of the game, and then the game restarts, and that's the sad part.
Exactly. I've told people before. It is like when we were kids and we learned the game that is most popular between everybody, and everybody knows that game. It's Monopoly. Monopoly is more than just a game. It teaches people. It teaches people exactly how it works. If you can dominate one section, you can take over everything. You can even get in cahoots with another player. But at the end of the day, you need to be concerned about your situation. So at the end of the day, yes, other people that don't look like us, of course they're not going to teach us the game. Why would they? That puts them on a even playing field with us. They don't want that. They need to dominate. Because once they dominate, then you're at their mercy. They dictate everything. When you run a game in Monopoly, when you're running the board, you dictate everything. You dictate terms, you dictate prices, you mortgage properties, you destroy people's lives. That's real talk. Look at it. When you put yourself in debt and you can't get out, that's it. You're going to mortgage your life to try to stay above water. But again, we don't work together to try to make anything better. Everybody complains and wants to point fingers, but nobody wants to sit there and put together a plan to extract some change.
That's not true. We talked about it. And
really,
I'll tell you.
Did you do it? Did you do it?
No, I'll tell you who did it.
Who did it?
And we saw the.
Who did it?
Hold on.
Who did it?
Ice Cube. And look what happened to him.
Fuck did Ice Cube do?
You didn't hear about his contract with Black America?
Oh, good God.
I'm just saying. And look what happened to him. I'm just saying.
Okay. Now Norris is here saying that he's working his way up the mountaintop and talking to people like, let's come along. He didn't say, all right, y'all people, here's the rules, what y'all need to do. Good luck. Like I said, there's a lot of people that talk. There's not a lot of people that are gonna. You think a contract is gonna be the thing that fixes the world? If that's the, I'll draw one up right now. Hold on. We'll be straight right now. It takes more than just talk, bro. You gotta put in the work. It's not even simple, dog. It's gonna be a rough road.
Oh no, I agree. But my point being is that he wrote that. It's like what he did. He wrote that contract. He wrote that contract of like what we want, what we want, what we expect, all that good stuff. And he went out and asked for people. No matter how you feel about it, no matter if you feel like it was, I don't care. At the end of the day, look what happened. Sent it to both parties. The only person who responded was Trump, but the Biden side didn't even give him the time of day.
Because who cares?
I get what you're saying, but my main point is for the people that do and that try, there's always some way that they always get stumped.
So you consider that trying. Don't sit there. Ice Cube has money, bro. Like he does, he's got motion picture money. He's got, rap money. He's got a little bit of change.
Mm-hmm.
So don't sit there and try to be like, all right, look, I'm gonna go to some of the major cities and I'm gonna sit down with some of the leaders in those cities and we're gonna talk about this contract and we're gonna start working stuff out. Back in the 90s, when they started the peace treaty, them dudes got all these gangs together. And like we're gonna come together, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna try to settle something. Mm-hmm. That is how you instruct change. Don't sit there and go, let me send this to the Trump party and let me send this to the Biden party and see. That's stupid. Who the hell cares about a politician seeing a contract? Who the hell cares about some stuffy black people that nobody really knows about to take some notice? That's what I'm saying. People talk a lot, but they don't put enough action in. I mean, dude, look up the picture of that gang treaty. There was dudes from everywhere.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. I've seen it multiple times.
Everywhere. And everybody was sitting down talking. A gunfight could have broke out at any second in that joint. But they were people that wanted to see change.
Yeah.
Is that treaty still going or?
No. Hell no.
No. No. Not at all.
It lasted for a while though. It was okay, but yeah, nah.
Yeah, that
But and that's something like, think about it. How many times have people said it'll cost more to incarcerate somebody than to send them to college? Everybody heard that statement before, right?
Yep.
But does anybody ever notice that right after that statement started getting really popular, that's when people started saying, well, college is irrelevant?
Huh, I never looked at it. I never looked at that.
Of course. Nobody notices it. Everybody just goes, yeah, but college is a waste of time now. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is, but it's not. But again, if it's such a waste of time, why are all these other dudes still going?
Well, let's just be honest. Ain't too many dudes are going. Actually, they're actually saying, and that's what they're worried about is that, well, outside of culture, this is just men in general, are starting to they're starting to drop out of college. They say there's more men dropping out of college than are women. That's why they say the college are. I think they said like the next 4 to 5 years, the college are going to be mostly dominated by women, not men.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even worried about it.
Of course not.
So that's a lie. And I go, at the end of the day, it's some elder stuff. And I go, that's why I go, the rules do not apply to everybody.
Of course they don't.
Yep. But again, people are listening to that and going, yeah, see, you don't need, they're telling their kids, oh man, you don't need college. Bro, I mean, I'm not saying to make that your life, but it's just like in the game of life. The only way you really gonna hit is if you diversify.
Yes, I agree.
You gotta have your hands in everything.
Yeah.
So you gotta have your hand in a college education. You gotta have your hands in a trade. You gotta have your hands in business. You gotta have your hands everywhere.
That's why I'm tired. Just playing.
I mean, dude, like I said, it's a struggle, bro. It's hard. I know. You ain't kidding, man. It is rough out there. I did it, bro. And that's why I look back at people and people go, well, I mean, whatever. You're just a statistic, like a rarity or an anomaly or something. Like, bro, I'm just a hard worker. That's it. I wake up every morning to grind. Most of the time, by the time I'm up and out the door, most people are still asleep. Most of the time, when I get home at night, most people are still asleep. So they've done whatever they were gonna do and went to bed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this talk, and I'm glad we got here.
Yeah, I can tell you want to get here. So, like I said, man, I mean, I think after this one, we got like 4 more podcasts left. So, if you're able to come back on, man, I mean, you're definitely welcome. We could definitely expand on this topic because trust me, you open up a can of worms for me, and I'm not done. So,
Okay.
yeah, man, where do people got to find you at?
Where do people got to find me at? On social media. That's where everybody looking, whether it's on Twitter, social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm going to go far back as MySpace. I'm just playing. But don't look for me. Don't look for me. Look for what I'm trying to do. Look for Crump Society. That's what I'm doing. So if you don't know how that's spelled, it's spelled KRUMP space SOCIETY. Go ahead and look that up. And we have a website. Go ahead and look that up. www.crumpsociety.org.
Yep. And the links will be down below, and we'll definitely get them back on one more time. Because like I said, this conversation isn't over, and trust me, there's somebody been waiting to talk to you. So
oh, are they mad at me? No, I'm just playing.
I don't know, but I'll just be like this. I'll just put it like this, man. Be prepared, because we're gonna go over this probably again and probably go a lot deeper than where we're at right now.
Yay! Okay.
I forgot to close out this podcast, so I'm just going to use this to close it out real quick. But thank you for checking out this podcast. We definitely appreciate it. Again, I want to thank James, B, and Norris for being on this episode. All the links will be down below. Once again, check out Crump Society. Also, if you can, do me a favor and check out the Clips channel. And also, you can find us on various audio platforms. The links will all be down below. And beyond that, again, thanks for checking out this podcast. And we'll be back next week.